Greetings, this is Fallon Hot, and welcome to an Animal Crossing video. So I've never really been huge into Animal Crossing. New Leaf was my first game, and I enjoyed it, but I did get bored before even the Halloween event popped up. I did go back just to do the Halloween event, and I loved it, but I love Halloween in general, and then I put it down and didn't touch it again until, well, New Horizons was announced, and I played it for a little bit in preparation, just excited. New Horizons took a few steps back and has a lot of basic design and, quite frankly, tedium issues. But I can't help but say that it was like the one shining star in the absolute chaos that was 2020. It was this perfect little island getaway, a place of paradise among a world of, well, not paradise. So I thought it would be a cool idea because I pretty much took screenshots the entire year round to kind of put together a little bit of a compilation of what I did and the little bit of RP that I eventually engaged in just to make the game a little bit more entertaining for myself. And there's a few things about my island that I don't mention here, so if you are curious to know what my island ended up looking like at this point, then I will leave my dream address below if you're curious. But we're going to start going through a few of the screenshots here. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. This is definitely going to be a video I'm going to come back to in the future and just reminisce. So this is mainly for me, but I hope you get some enjoyment out of it. So we start off day one, fresh-faced and not so exactly bright-eyed, on the island yet to be named. I'm here talking with Kevin, who was one of my first villagers, and the first time I ever had the guy. I quite liked him. He was pretty chill. Sitting around a campfire with cups of orange juice, it almost feels like we're family. You can call me bro. And then we have Kat here. Again, first time I've ever had her. Though, again, I don't exactly have much of a history with the series. She was great. She was just a chill presence for the most part, and just really easy to get along with. Corvid Bay, this is gonna be real rad, Purdy. So yeah, first day, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Not exactly bright-eyed, nor do I have a tail, but there we go. And I'm ready to go. We're set up in the tent. I'm messing around with the camera feature, and we're gonna go out. We're gonna explore. We're gonna make this place our own. So the first thing I do, of course, make myself a shit fishing rod out of a twig, and I start fishing and catching bugs, and pretty much filled my house. And it will be like this for a while because it's a few days until you get blathers. So my favorite thing about Animal Crossing is by far the museum, and this goes quadruple for New Horizons, because holy shit, quite frankly, the best thing about New Horizons was the museum. It is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. It is the best museum they've ever had in the series, and it is a delight, an absolute delight to see being filled up as throughout the months as you play the game. So of course, the first thing I do when I start playing is catching all the shit I could possibly catch. And yeah, this is my 10th day one, or possibly day 2. I'm not sure. Yeah. Eventually, we do in fact get blathers. I'm made up, as you can clearly tell. I'm ecstatic. And I start exploring around the island, doing a bit more, and I run into Gulliver for the first time. Yeah, this guy has problems, and we'll be seeing a lot of him, I imagine, as the years go on, or the months go on even. Hell, years, depending on the way I'm playing this game. I eventually upgrade to a basic house, which means I have more room, and I very quickly fill said room. I get the store moved in. This is one down point of New Horizons. The store only really has one upgrade. I really miss the massive, the mole that you had in the older game, but yeah, here we go. So yeah, I was worried when I heard you were all moving to a deserted island, but this is much nicer than I imagined. I like the Label Sisters, especially the shy one in the corner. I really feel as if, like, she's the kind of person who I would kind of because I have kind of social anxiety myself. I'm a bit of an introvert, believe it or not. I know I always feel weird saying that on YouTube, but keep in mind I am just talking to myself here. Um, so I always like the idea of just hanging out with her and, finding a bit of a friend there. But yeah, I find myself gravitating towards kind of introverted characters like that. I am starting to really sacrifice my sanity at this point for my massive collection of wildlife, to the point where I took a bite directly to the face by a tarantula here. Yeah, those fuckers got me a few times. But it was worth it, because eventually the museum was built. I do hope this island's rich ecosystem and treasure trove of species continues to inspire all. Yeah, we celebrated. It was great. Also, as you can see, I have Sky here. I found her on a random island, and I'm like, hey, do you want to move in with us? And she was the first villager to move onto our island. And believe me, I was ecstatic with that, because Sky is one of my favorite villagers. She was always been so chill and amazing. And as this playlist goes on, or this series of images goes on, she ended up being my best friend on the island. My biggest pal. The one person I can rely on. And the one I have quite a bit in common with. My house is clean and full of bugs. I can I removed the bugs and fish. I can finally relax. I did keep one of them. I named him Aragog. He's back there. I'm actually arachnophobic in real life, but I do actually find tarantulas kind of cute in their own weird way. So yeah, I had to keep one as a pet. So yeah, I finally have a house that I can move in. Amazing. I decided to hang out with my friend here, doing stupid shit like we're wont to do. Hanging around in the museum, because this place is amazing, and I can't get over just how fucking amazing the museum is. And then it was Sky's birthday. Literally the next day after I invited her to move in, it was her birthday. Apparently she had made fast friends with Kat, and yeah, we had a blast. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad she had this great warm welcome. She really did come in at the perfect time. That couldn't have worked out better. And look, we've got the patented COVID Bay orange juice back there. I don't think I mentioned this at this point, but yes, we did name the island COVID Bay. I am a huge fan of corvids, ravens, crows, magpies. I absolutely love them. They're incredibly intelligent birds. They are quite impactful. They're quite big in our in English culture, and yeah, I love them. So that's of course I had to name it something like that. Of course, Corvid sounds a lot like COVID, which I'm stupid and I didn't think of that. But anyway, Gulliver's back, and apparently he's texting his friends, and they're not responding. And honestly, at this point, I don't blame him. I think this guy has some serious issues. Because my buddy moved in, Kevin here's talking about how he's kind of amazing. Because, yeah, my buddy Zach is pretty amazing. And I already forgot the voice I gave Kevin, so I'll give him a new one. That's the kind of thing I'd call my muscles. Except Zach's whole body is called that. Yeah, his apparently Kevin was called his muscles Zach. So, yeah, there we go. I got Winnie. Winnie was quite pleasant. She's asking me what my kind of hobby is here, so I'm like, oh, nature photographer. That's an awesome choice, and I bet you'll be great at it. Sky's in the background, just keeping an eye on me, because we've just got this new villager moved in here, so, and she's a bit preppy. Peppy. She's obviously a Twitter user. Let's just say that. So Sky's just looking out for me, as she's wont to do. Horror movies are totes my jam, Skullbeats. Skullbeats? Beasts. Who the fuck said that? I'll keep me awake for. Oh, it's okay. I'm figuring out. Totes my jam. Skullbeats 3 kept me awake for a week. The next one is gonna be crazy. Yeah. I'm recording this. I'm going for the playlist I'm going for the list kind of like live. So that's the charm of my channel. It's complete casual. There's zero effort into it whatsoever, and that's the excuse I'm sticking with. I have a bit of a jam out section with Kevin and Sky, where we've got the you can see in the background the resident services is getting a bit of an upgrade, and yeah, we're all feeling good. We're making progress. We're making this island our own. I start fishing with my buddy. We catch ourselves one of these absolute fucking beauties. I love these fish. And then my buddy also shows off his rare fish that we caught that night. It was a good night of fishing. I don't know what we're wearing, but there we go. I love Isabel. I feel bad for Isabel the same reason I feel for, is it Mabel? Sable? It's one of them. The one that's the introverted one that basically makes the fabric. It's that she just works and works and works and works and works and works, and she never really gets out and just relaxes for a bit. And then I remember that this is a Japanese game and everything makes sense. And yeah, we celebrate. And apparently I'm dressed like that one feminist icon character, whatever her name is. The one that's like she's showing her muscles and like we can do it or something like that. I can't remember. Also I have Deli, the monkey, moved in. As my lazy villager. I didn't invite them. Nook did. Yeah. So this is my house. I ended up moving my house in a different place at this point. We've got access to bridges. So as you can see back there, I'm like, yes, this is where my house is going to be. I like the little Godzilla thing, like the little higher bit in the background. This is a nice place to set up shop. This is going to be my place. And then I decided to screw around with my friend again, doing stupid things like jumping in holes. Yep. Jumping in holes and being absolutely stupid. That's us in a nutshell. So obviously we're going to get a new villager soon. We got the camp all set up. We're really making progress. Or we're going to put this place on the map. You can see the COVID Bay magpie symbol on the what even would you call them? Recliners? I don't know. And then I decided to stalk Sky for a little bit like a creep because she's adorable. I call her falling asleep and singing, howling, and then being depressed on the beach. I think she knew at this time I was photographing her and was just like, when the fuck is this guy going away? I also unlocked the amiibo functionality, and I just so happened to have Isabel as an amiibo. And I wondered what would happen if I actually scanned her in, considering it's right next to her. And she actually acknowledges this, which I thought was hilarious. You're so funny. You're practically right in front of me right now, you know? I love Isabel. Tom Nook gets a bad rep. You know, what loan shark would let you pay off your loan at your own rate without any interest? Literally taking years to pay it off, and he will never seek it back. Like, what loan shark does that? He's not a loan shark. He's a decent guy. Nook is great. Okay, I know in the older games he was a bit of a dick, but so was everyone. It was a different feel. The games had a different feel back then, so yeah. But no, I like Tom Nook. I think he gets a bad rep. He's my guy, and this is me and Isabel kind of like cheering him up and saying, you know what, we can do this together. We're all in this together. We'll make this island our own. Don't worry about stressing yourself out. This is all our island. This is all our home. We can do this. And he's like, Isabel, Fowland, thank you so much. We've got Able Sisters moving in, where I'm so happy. And as you can see in the back left there, we have Shep. Yeah, Shep was the character that moved in the whatchamacallit. Shep is the one that moved in on the, oh god, I forgot what it's called, the campsite. There we go, yeah. So we're all happy, we've got the Able Sisters, we can now have new clothes. And apparently I decided to dress like the Monopoly guy for this event. Allow me to be blunt, the flea is foul. It's also disgusting, repugnant, and vile. Whew, but I digress. I adore Blathers. The man is terrified of insects. Yet he takes care of them and runs his museum for the glory of science. Blathers is the best. He's honestly a contender for my favorite NPC. He might actually be my favorite NPC. I love him. Speaking of might actually be my favorite NPC, I need Flick in my life. This guy has to have an amiibo. I love him. I love him so much. And man, those insect models he makes are glorious. I need them in real life as well. Scored the commission. And so our contract is bound, human. There's me hanging out with Sky and Shep, just, chilling a little bit, having some fun, taking photographs together. Shep's glasses really confuse me, but there we go. And this is me hanging around in the aquarium. Look how beautiful this is, though. I've always liked. Well, I say always. I liked the museum in New Leaf, but I'm a fan of animals in general, and I love museums. It was like my favorite thing to do as a kid. You know, my family would take me to museums and aquariums, and they're some of my favorite childhood memories. And these just these Animal Crossing museums just capture the magic of it. I love it. And the lighting in this game, holy shit, the lighting is incredible. People say the Switch looks bad. Look, this is a point. You do not need games to look realistic in order for games to look good, and Animal Crossing is an absolutely gorgeous game, and the main reason for that is the lighting. The lighting in this game is incredible, and as you play it, you really start to notice the little details that the lighting, engage in, and it's just amazing. And finally, we got KK to play. And yeah, this was the point that Corvid Bay was placed on the map. We were a 5-star destination that everybody who is anybody wishes to visit. But only visit, because only the best of the best of the best are allowed to stay on this island. At least they will be once I kick a few of these out. Delhi. Hey, Corvid Bay, it's real groovy being here today. Right on. This one goes out to all you cool cats on Corvid Bay. I call it Welcome Horizons. And we enjoyed a night of KK's grooving together as an island. It was a pretty great night. It really felt like we had gone far. Oh, and you can see Piper down there as well. She was great. She was on the island for a long, long time. I found her randomly on an island, much like Sky, and she was great. I had to bring her. Fortunately, she's the same personality type as Winnie, so they were pretty much identical. And that was it! Pretty much, I had completed the main story, I had complete freedom on the island, and it was time to fucking terraform like a boss. And man, the stuff I did on this island, it's no amazing cottagecore style island like I've seen online. Like, seriously, some of the things people do with the islands online is mind-blowing. These people are artists, like legitimate artists. It's incredible. I am not that. But I did end up very, very proud of my island. So if you remember that tarantula I named Aragog, well, I ended up giving him to Flick, and an obsession was born. Now, this is me hanging out with a buddy of mine, and probably the one person watching this video. If you're watching this, I appreciate you, man. You're amazing. Never change. And we hung out in the aquarium together, because of course we did. The aquarium is amazing. And this is where I realized that Grizzly here has really cool animations in his eyes that you very rarely ever see. A friend of mine is, let's say he's very, very big on birds, and I think he was a bit too enthusiastic for grumpy type Grizzly here. He ended up giving me his hat as well. I didn't ask for anything. I said it was cool, and he ended up giving me it because that's the kind of person he is. He's a great dude. And I love this hat. I wore it for a few days actually before finding a cowboy hat and replacing it with that for a bit. But no, it's a really nice hat. I love this style of hat in general. And I was incredibly, I want to say British, but I look more French at this point. And as you can see, I got Bob. I know Bob is a major meme character, but well, we'll continue on with Bob as this goes on. Hey, fish, fish, fish. Hey, I wish you'd come and play with me. I overslept a little today, but that's cool. I give the bugs in my house an extra quiet time. Bob continued to be a meme for a while. I catch Isabel looking out the window, longing for freedom. She's such a tragic character. I see Flick again, and I sell him a shit ton of tarantulas. I used to have a picture of like a lot of them, but I don't know what happened to them. I ended up filling an entire island with these flippin' tarantulas, making as much money as possible. It is a good thing that they ended up nerfing them. It really is, because that was profitable. And my collection grew. I don't know why I didn't just take a picture there and just took a picture using the Switch functionality, but There we go. So I needed money to fund my insect model career or hobby. I know they don't cost bells, but work with me here. So yes, I started getting into the stock market. This is the only picture I have of Bunny Day. Because I think a lot of people remember the PTSD from Bunny Day. Oh my god, there were eggs. So many eggs. I went fishing and there were eggs. I chopped down trees for wood and there were eggs. I wanted fruit and all I got were eggs. I was looking for new recipes and all I got were eggs. Eggs! Oh god. You're the winner! Yes, you are! Congratulations! You're a star! I hate you, Zipper. So Shep decided to get into Twitch streaming because he's just that kind of dude. And I'm like, you know what? I love G Fuel. G Fuel is great. If you could get yourself a promotion with G Fuel, it would make the yes. I would totally put totally put code Shep in to get money off G Fuel because I love that stuff. And he's like, hey, thanks for the tip. I'll buy myself some G Fuel ASAP. Ba ba ba. I don't know what the ba 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 thing's about, but. And here's Sky reminding me why I love her and why she's my best friend in this fucking thing. I guess I'm not the only one who loves a rainy night, airmail. Man, I love a rainy night. It's such a beautiful sight. But yeah, no, Sky is me and Sky, we are like siblings. You know, she is like a sister to me. She is the best. I love her. And my collection grows. It was Piper's birthday and I got her a flapper dress and she was super happy with it. It's, you know, she's into dancing, of course, and I thought she's a classy style kind of bird, so I thought, you know what? Let's get you a flapper dress. You're going to look amazing with it. It's going to be great when you're dancing. You're going to look like a star. She was made up with it, though she was a little bit taken aback with how expensive it was. But nah, you're worth it, Piper. Also, I had Robin. I had Robin for a long time. I do not like Robin, but she would not leave. Hey, YouTuber jokes! We upgraded the museum, and at this point I had actually moved it to the top left of the island, in like an upper area. It looked really nice. It looked super classy. I love it. It's great. It was the perfect place for a museum. A museum shouldn't be low with all the peasants. It should be high. Nook's Cranny also got upgraded because it was just that kind of time. Upgrades for days. So Cat's birthday came around and Deli decided to inform me of why they are the way they are because of the traumatic childhood, and I kind of liked them after this event. Well, that's when the birthday clown went into a house and never came out. Mum says they still hear honking noises in the wall sometimes. Fuck me, dude! Holy shit! Are you okay? Piper decided to showcase that she was a Twitter user. She lost a lot of points with me that night. I finally got myself a scorpion, and I'm like, oh my god, is this like in New Leaf where you can make them fight? But no, they just looked at each other and then went their own ways. So I ended up getting Ed. Ed is fantastic. I had Ed in New Leaf, and he was like my gay best friend. He really comes across as gay to me. That's not an insult, by the way. That's just, you know, a matter of fact. Like, he just came across as gay to me. In fact, a lot of the horses, dude. There's something about the horses that just all come across as gay to me. And I know I'm not the only one. But no, Ed was amazing. I absolutely loved him in New Leaf. He always wanted to move in with me, and he flirted with me all the time. And he was just super nice to have around, you know. He was a bit of an ego boost. He was just a cool guy. I also love the fact that he has a photograph of himself in his own house. You've got to admire that. You've got to admire that. Bob continued to be a meme. I want to pick the first card. It says I have to find a rhyme for walrus. I decided to annoy Grizzly by just popping up and down in the flower field over and over and over again whilst he was trying to read. I was pretty much like, hey Grizzly! Hey Grizzly! Hey Grizz! Hey! And it's like, oh god, this guy's been hanging around Bob way too much. Speaking of Bob being a meme, he sent me this. Hi! I like sending postcards to friends. Shall I write more? Maybe next time, Bob. Yeah, that's Bob. Here's Winnie and Piper showing that they're pretty much the exact same character to the point where Nintendo is even referencing it here, which is kind of hilarious but also sad. Oh my gosh, you're literally almost me. I cannot kind of even believe how almost exactly the same we are. Yep, neither can old fans of the series. I've only played New Leaf, but I am aware of what it used to be like. Bob continued to be a meme. I wanted to surprise you with a thing, so I bought you a thing and sent it to you because I wanted you to have it. Now you have the thing, I sent it to you. Enjoy. It's your thing now. Yay! You like the thing, Bob? My collection, it grows. We had Dobby, and quite frankly, at this point, we really needed somebody like Dobby in the village. We really needed someone with class. About the only classy individual, like truly classy individual on this island was Sky. And as much as I like Sky, me and her are both kind of basic bitches, so we needed someone to truly elevate Corbin Bay to a new standard, you know? We were 5-star at this point, but we needed to look like it. Enter Dobby, the local police officer and detective. He ended up lowering crime rate in the island quite a bit. I don't know who was stealing all those socks. Bob. But, yep. He put a stop to that right quick, and he was an absolute boon to our little community. I was feeling rather patriotic that day, so I decided to dress like a king, mixed with a royal god, I think. I don't know, I just think I look fantastic. It was wedding season, only for me to realize much later on down the line that this wasn't a one-off thing. You could actually keep doing this and unlock some pretty cool things and eventually stop for change, but I had no idea about that, and they didn't give you any indication, so this is one of, I think, the only 5 times, or maybe 4 times I did this? Yeah, hopefully this year, if I play it again, I can do it better, especially with knowing how to use the camera system a lot more now. And it was my birthday! My birthday arrived in-game. Yeah, and Isabelle decides to be cute about it. Island superstar Fallon Hart is also celebrating a birthday today. So yeah, my best friends threw me a birthday. My girl Sky, her girl Piper, and my boy Kevin. It was great. A real fun time. I didn't expect anything, and man, talk about classy. Look, this is the effect Dobby had on our island. Look at this shit. Sky especially looks incredible. The bow on Piper's head is a bit dumb. She looks like a mouse, but the dress makes up for it, especially because it's red and it really goes with her beak. And look at Kevin. He's a massive Elton John fan. You know, people say jocks are one note, but Kevin loves Elton John, and it was a great night. You know, we sang Elton John music together, we had some cake, it was great. But yeah, I eventually took a memorial photograph of the time. Again, why I used the Switch functionality and not just press the take photo button, I don't know. But that's what I did. I would then upload this to Facebook like 2-3 days later. Because this is going to sound weird for a lot of people, but I do not celebrate my birthday. There's no depressing or upsetting or downer reason for it. I just don't like the attention. It makes me highly uncomfortable. And typically speaking, birthdays can be incredibly stressful days for me because people are constantly contacting me all the time. And last time I complained about this, a long time ago, other people called me entitled, which I guess I am. Some people don't have that kind of relationship with their family and whatnot, but it's been years and they still haven't learned that I'm not being modest. I legitimately just want to be left alone. I don't want the attention. It makes me really uncomfortable. But yeah, so of course I realized that the date's on there, so I'm hoping that people forget. Birthdays are not my thing. I just don't consider them that important, and I hate the attention. So yeah, there's no massive depressing reason for it. I just don't care. But Animal Crossing really did a real sweet job at celebrating your birthday. I don't think I've felt this special about having a birthday since I was a kid. They did such a great job of it, including personal messages from who are at the time your best friends. And I really cannot wait to see this in 2021 again, just to see who pops up. Congrats, Fallon. I should be telling you this to your face instead of writing, but I just gotta say, I'm proud to be your pal. I'm sure glad we have a day just for celebrating you, 'cause you're the best and you deserve the best. I mean it. Grizzly. Dude, I love Grizzly. Grizzly's like that really cool uncle, you know? He's a great guy. And of course, I got a message from my girl Sky to the amazing Lollipop. She was calling me Lollipop. Oh, I think it was Winnie that started that. Happy birthday to you with all of my heart. I hope you know how much you mean to everyone here. You've been like a gift to our community, and you bring so much joy into our lives every day by just being you. Celebrating you, Sky. Man, Sky, right back at you, girl. Right back at you. You're the best. So, just for being amazing, I decided to buy Dobby just an extra classy shirt, and he was really appreciative of it. Like, well, you know my style better than I do. So yeah, Dobby was great. He was such a stabilizing force on the island, and I love him. I was in a real giving mood that day, so I decided to buy this for Ed as well. I just saw it, this kind of music festival shirt, and I thought, oh my god, that is Ed in a nutshell. He's gonna love it. And sure enough, he did. Unfortunately, the day was not all sunshine and roses. Shep decided to move on, which I'm glad he could stay around for my day, but it was sad to see him go. He was a cool dude. He was super chill. I hope wherever he is right now that his Twitch streaming is going great, and that G Fuel will eventually give him a promotion. I would love to buy Shep's own flavor, whatever the hell that would be. You've made a bigger impact on my life than you'll ever know. I'm streaming on Twitch. I've got a lot of fans and followers, and hell, maybe even one day I'll get that G Fuel promotion. And it was all because of you, buddy. So at this time, I finally grew the golden roses, and I was super happy, and I was like, yeah, this is great. These are gorgeous. You know what? I'm going to give one to Sky just so she knows how amazing she's been this entire time. My first grown golden rose shall be hers. For those of you who don't know, Fauna is my favorite villager, and has been for a long time. And when I say a long time, I mean since New Leaf, since that's the only one I've played. But she was... There's something just extra special about her. I don't think there's a more chill, like, sweeter, just absolutely perfect in every way villager that you can get on the island. Since New Horizons, I've actually found out that she's one of the most popular villages in the series, which I had no idea. In fact, I didn't expect that at all, because design-wise, she's kind of basic. Especially with people going for that cat in a suit with two different colored eyes and things. I thought she was just kind of like too basic and plain to be so popular, but I guess her personality wins out. And even in New Horizons, where everything is so bland and samey, well, I'll say bland, everything is so the same and repetitive, she still manages to kind of break through that mold and become a unique character. Her and Sky, despite both being the normal type, were not the same character at all. And I think they're the only examples of that in the game that I personally experienced. So, because the amiibo cards are impossible to get without fucking stupid blind bags, I ended up buying a fan-made one, and I decided to import Fauna into the game because I had to. And let's just say that sparks were flying right away from the very first meeting. I'll be leaving tomorrow, but I feel like I'm falling in love with this place and the folks that live here. Oh, here we have another example of one of those wedding photographs. Yeah, I did not do it for a few days. I do really love the green kind of color on every of the wedding stuff, though. It's really nice. It's very much up my alley. I just wish I knew how to use the photography stuff in the game as well as I do now, so it's a real shame. Kevin decided to move at this point. And as much as I liked Kevin, it was surprisingly easy to let him go. I think jocks are the least popular villager type, and probably for a reason. The less I have to hear about muscles and working out, the better. It pains me to say it, bud, but I've been thinking about leaving this island, bro. I haven't cleaned my place in forever. It's a total mess, and it's probably faster to just move than tidy up. I mean, if that's the excuse you're going for, mate, Are you sure you're a jock and not a lazy type? And here we have possibly my favorite, aside from Flick, of the newly added random villages, Gulliver. I love, like, that. Gulliver has some of the best reward items you can get in the game, including what at the time was my favorite item, the pirate beard. So yes, he's still called Gulliver here because he looks exactly like Gulliver, and I don't know his true name yet. Whether this is the same character in a different outfit, or his brother, or relation, or something, I don't know, and I never want to know, because Gulliver has issues, and I want to continue that to be a thing. Buccaneer, that's a bit out of me price range. Could I talk you into a discount for both ears? I love him so much. Sometimes it's fun to stand out in the rain and scream at the sky. Piper? Are you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to? Because I'm right here if you want that, you know? And then came the fireworks festival. And it was the time me and Fauna decided to make it official. We were a thing. And it was such a great and just romantic and just beautiful night, and I will remember it forever. It's so magical to be surrounded by tiny fireworks whilst watching the giant ones bloom in the sky above. And Dobby, being the amazing father figure and friend he is, decided to show me his support. If you ask me, the look of wonder on the faces down here is as much as a treat as the fireworks up there. We as a community, a village, a family, celebrated the fireworks that night. It was pretty great. Probably one of my favorite nights in the game. Except one thing glared at me. The random blue pixels in that pretty awful magpie flag that I tried to make and botched completely. So, the next day I went out of my way to try and improve it. And this was the result. I believe we can all agree that this is way, way better. And no, I did not do this. This is using the online pattern maker with a random image I found on Google. It worked out brilliantly, and this became the official symbol of Corvid Bay. And I could not have been happier. So to celebrate my feelings of great happiness, I decided to spend the rest of the day playing on the Switch. Whilst playing on the Switch... Fuck me, this shit got meta. At this point, I had created a secondary character because I wanted to play the game more, but I kind of ran out of stuff to do and I was pretty much just doing the same shit every day. So I made a secondary character called Willow, who very quickly found out that the turtles didn't actually have a cage. They just looked like wild pets. So she decided to catch a bunch of them and name them. At this point, she has 4 of them. There's Donatello, Raphael, you can guess the rest. And it took fucking ages, absolutely fucking ages, several months into the game, but I finally saw a falling star. It took ages, but I finally saw a soaring star. God damn. And I also got the trophy for a perfect house, because my house is perfect. Okay, admittedly, it wouldn't be perfect until ages, because I completely ignored the house for months, just worked on upgrading it and hanging out with the villagers and upgrading the island itself and designing the island itself rather than... My house just got abandoned. It took ages for me to start doing stuff to it, because I just wanted to get collections of things first. And Bob continued to be a meme. And this is the last time you will see Bob, because I got rid of him. As soon as a lazy villager popped up in the campsite, I invited that lazy villager to stay. And it was probably the best decision I made in this fucking game. I grew to really, I wouldn't say dislike, but Bob ended up just annoying me. The guy is just like, okay, I love JoJo. But there's a reason why JoJo memes are very annoying to a specific group of people on the internet, like anime fans in general, because they're sick of fucking hearing them. It's super boring, and that's kind of like what Bob became. He was just this repetitive meme that just memed. He was incapable of speaking like a normal person. He just memed all the fucking time. He was like an obsessive Reddit or 4chan user. He was super fucking annoying. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only character we'd see the last of. This is Ed telling me that he was gonna move, and that I'd always have a place in his heart, and he will be for me. But the reason why I let him move was because he wasn't the same Ed anymore. He wasn't my Ed from New Leaf. He was just a generic villager of that personality type. And it was kind of hard to see. It was like a friend of mine had been replaced by a robot. Like a body snatcher, a fake imitation of him. But still, it was Ed. So it was not exactly easy to let him go, but it was better for my mental health. Still, I'll always cherish the memories I made here, honey chops. Just remember, we're all in the same world, even if we're living on different islands. I guess that's my way of saying, I hope we meet up again someday. Take care of yourself. No! But then came Fauna, ready and willing to brighten up my day and kind of remove my depression with saying goodbye to Ed. She decided to start using a pet name and called me Muffin. Oh yeah, we also had this luchadore bird in here for a little bit. I don't know why. He was in here for like 2 days before asking to move. I said yes. I mean, it's kind of cool. Was his name Sparrow? I can't remember. He was kind of cool, but I didn't care. I can't remember exactly what happened here, but apparently Sky was just not happy with Piper. I don't know what she said, but it takes a lot to get on Sky's bad side, so yeah, I don't know what she said, but those two were kind of at each other's throats for a few days after that. Me and Fauna decided to hang out, go to the local cafe together, have a bit of a drink, chill out and watch a movie together, and then this is me walking her halfway to her place and, saying goodnight to her before going our own separate ways. The sound of rain at night makes me so sleepy. I should get a good night's sleep tonight, honey chops. And my collection grew! Yeah, you've not seen us for a while, have you? Man, we are saying goodbye to a lot of villages, aren't we? I didn't realize just how many of them kind of moved out. Or there was just a large stretch where I was just doing dailies and not really taking many photographs. But yeah, this is Winnie saying goodbye, but she would eventually move into my mother's island. So, if I ever want to see her, there's a way of doing it. I bet we'll see each other again. It's a big world, but there's only so much of it, right? So remember the turtles? I found out whilst diving one night that there is actually another character, or there was another animal that you can capture that isn't actually in a container. The horseshoe crab, and I fucking love horseshoe crabs. I think they're so cool. So, of course, I decided to catch a few of them on top of the one that I wanted to give to Blabbers. And I gave them permanent residence on the island. They're still on that rock to this day, eating the algae I put there for them. Reckon I can just about picture it. Diving into a deep pool of bells, just paddling around in all of them. Diving into something solid seems like it'd be sort of painful. Sky. Somebody has never watched DuckTales. I guess quarantine was really getting to Fauna at this moment. We were kind of ignoring it from day one. There was only really one island resident that really paid attention to it, because we kind of moved over to the island before this entire thing pretty much broke out. So we were safe. None of us really had it. We were all tested. We actually had a villager at this moment that was a licensed professional doctor. So yeah, we had that villager. We were all set to go, and he tested all of us, and we were all fine. But he was, oddly enough, the only one that continued to wear a mask. I think he kind of considered it to be some kind of political statement or some kind of social statement. I don't know. I know he was very annoyed with the people who would the anti-maskers online. I told him to stay off the internet, but he was just obsessed over it. But at one night he got really pissed off and he decided to suggest we all quarantine for a bit. So after a few days of doing that, let's just say that Fauna went a bit stir crazy. Here's the thing, Muffin. Sometimes I like just being alone, but there's such a thing as too much of a good thing. Especially the quiet gets to me, and I need some company. That was a hint, by the way, if you didn't notice. Your needy friend Fauna. Yeah, I avoided Rattle. It was Rattle, by the way, the doctor. I forgot to mention that, but I avoided him, and I made my way over to her house, and we hung out for a bit, and you know, I think we both needed that. We were both happy after that, but Rattle eventually did calm down. Just, you know, I understand. I'm the same as Rattle. I get a bit too emotionally invested in arguments online sometimes, and I find the world to be a bit crazy. So I get it. We were helping him out, but he did cool down, and quarantine wasn't a thing. But it did last for about a week or so. So, yeah. Remember me mentioning my secondary character? Here she is in all her glory. The Halloween event really did her just an amazing service. Look how good she looks. She might just be like the best looking character on the island. She's amazing. She's just mwah. And she knows it. Look at that expression. She knows how fucking amazing she looks. Speaking of amazing, this is why I love Sky. Look at this shit, man. Those are the best kind of stories. Magic, swords, sorcery, dragons. It's all so romantic and exciting. Remind me to buy some really good RPGs for you, Sky, because you're gonna love them. See? She's like a sister. She's just... she's my pal. We're so alike, it's great. During one of my secret quarantine visits, Fauna decided to give me a little bit of a present. And I was quite happy with it and gave it pride of place. So it was the first thing I could see when I woke up every morning and when I went to bed every night. That was a good day. Speaking of good days, Halloween was fantastic. Also, we have Anker now. Look how good Anker looks. She would get, like, her and Sky and me, like, super fucking getting into it. Meanwhile, I don't know whether Grizzly is just tired of this shit or he's trying to pose for Vogue, but he's looking on point as well. I love this photograph. Like, I think this is probably the single most natural photograph I've ever taken without a lot of setup beforehand. I just snapped it and it came out great. I love this. Speaking of loving it, look how amazing Willow's house ended up looking though. This is just pure Halloween, and it's still like that today. She never took it down. It's like that even during Christmas, because that's just her style. And she looks fantastic, and her house looks fantastic, and the lights are off 24/7, just waiting for somebody to come into her house so she can go ooh, and pull that face. Pretty great. I decided to spend the rest of the day watching horror movies. As much as I love Fauna, she is not a horror movie person, and she decided to spend most of the day inside the house, just sleeping and doing other things and avoiding the spookiness. Yeah, that's one thing I'm gonna have to see if I can, you know, get her around on, because Halloween's great and I'd love to celebrate it with her one year, but it's not her thing. No one's perfect. But I was fucking perfect this day. Look at this shit. Dressing up like I finally got a kilt pretty much that worked with the hat that I got from Gulliver at one point, and I'm like, fucking finally, let's put this into an outfit. Also, this is the first time I've personally noticed, but I have eyebrows now. It's one of the things that once you notice, once you see it, you'll never unsee it. The villagers don't have eyebrows. So I ended up making some for myself. Unfortunately, the brown is a little lighter. You can't see it during gameplay, but you can really see it during the photographs, and I need to fix that at some point. But yeah, I did decide to make myself some eyebrows using a guide online. And it makes the character look a lot better. But yeah, it's one of those things. Once I noticed I didn't have eyebrows, I couldn't unsee it. I think it might have been in prior photographs, but this is the first one I've noticed it. And yes, quarantine is still a thing. We dropped it for Halloween, but then Rattle decided to put it back on again. And again, we're we're trying to help him out, make him feel safer. So a bunch of us decided to do it. I mean, we've got the internet, we can talk to each other online, but it wasn't too long before I got pretty much the exact same message from Fauna again. I mean, it's some people would hate this, but I don't know. I like my own space. So does she, but yeah, it was. I'm not complaining. I ended up making a third character. This is Moss. I just love this game, man, and I wanted more gameplay. And this is her exercise room. Why I designed it to look like that one room in Twin Peaks, I don't know. But yeah, I just what it ended up looking like. So this was a sad day. This was by far the worst move out since Ed. But it was one I personally chose. There was a villager that showed up in the campsite that is one of my overall favorites. I absolutely love her, and she's another peppy type. So I ended up replacing her with Piper. I ended up replacing Piper for her. It's not all bad, though, because Piper did actually move over to my mother's island. She kept the same dance jacket and sailor's hat that she always wore around, that both of which I gave her. She's walking around my mother's island as we speak in that same outfit. So, if I want to see her at any point, I can just travel over to Harry Isle, which is my mother's island. And, yeah, so that worked out very nicely. This was really funny. This was actually Willow's birthday. But before I jumped on Willow, I was playing on my main character, and Sky happened to be sick that day. So after I bought some medicine for her, gave her the medicine, and did my rounds for the day, I logged out, and then I went on this character, completely forgetting it was her birthday. And it was actually Sky that showed up to do the event with her, still wearing her sick clothes, which is just fucking hilarious. I wonder if anyone else has experienced that before. Around the same time, Nintendo actually added that really cool update where they added a bunch of hairstyles and new animations that our Twitter blew up over because the people that use Twitter are just completely detached from reality. But yeah, there's this Willow showing off her new hairstyle, and she's looking absolutely fantastic as per usual. So this is Moss showcasing the new sitting animation, sitting on the duck beach watching a gnome fish using telekinesis. And this is me using the sniff animation, pretending I'm eating. With a patented Corvid Bay dinner plate. Or dinner mat. Yeah, dinner mat. So yeah, and apparently I'm listening to some kind of Japanese game show in the background. I don't know. Yeah. Looks like I'm playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee as well. Huh. I was having a good day that day, apparently. Okay, there's a lot to go through here. So in the top right, we have Beller, the goth mouse whose eyes glow bright red when she's excited. She is the peppy villager that replaced Piper. To the middle left, you can see Rattle. Rattle is the replacement for the lazy villager and is also the doctor of the island. He's the one that was making us kind of quarantine for a little bit, but eventually we did get it through to him that, we're all on his side. Like, we agree that people should be, wearing masks and preventing the spread as much as possible, but we're on an island that doesn't really have much traffic. We're completely safe. You've tested us a few times since. None of us have it. We don't have to do this on this island. Like, we hardly get any villages, and the ones that do come over you scan them. You scan them. You give them the test, and you make sure that, I say scan them, but you test them. You make sure that they're safe. And if they're safe, you welcome them onto the island. This is why we invited you, man, because you're really good for the island. Your skill set is fantastic. You don't have to go overboard. So thankfully, he did loosen up for Turkey Day, and he had a good time. And I think he really needed it, which is why a bunch of us are looking over to him, because we're super happy that he's just finally learning to relax and calming down and not letting the crazies on the internet kind of dictate his worldview. So. But yeah, on the bottom there, we also have Eugene, which ended up being the replacement for Ed. I like Eugene a lot. First time I've ever had him. He's currently in a suit that is just perfect for him. It's like this black suit with these yellow highlights that is the same color as his nose, and he just looks amazing in it. And in the bottom left corner is Sterling. He's my Jock Villager. He's one I've actually had before in New Leaf. I did a lot of island hopping for these guys. I did a lot of island hopping. I must have gone for hundreds of Nook miles for these motherfuckers, because Fauna was the only one that I actually went out of my way to get, so this is pretty much just what I've landed on. Grizzly's still around. I've never really outwardly kind of talked about him, but he's just been on the island for so long, and I can't really remember when exactly I got him. But he made a massive impression on me, especially when he was yelling at my friend for being too enthusiastic to see him. But yeah, this is us enjoying Turkey Day, and it was a great day. We all kind of needed the little bit of excitement. You know, things were Rattle was going a bit overboard, and we all needed a chance to loosen up. And finally, I caught all the fish in the game. That was a good day. Seeing the museum almost completely full was fantastic. Just there's only a few more things to get now, but yeah, of course I had to photograph that. And say hello to my second favorite item in the game, right behind the fucking beard that I'm currently wearing and have been for the past few shots. The pirate beard is amazing. But yeah, the puppy toy. Oh my god, it's amazing. I love it so much. It's like the closest thing to having a pet in the game now. It's because it's weird that they have a pet bed and they have a pet feeding tray, but the closest thing to an actual pet that you can really get outside of maybe the turtle and the hermit crabs is the mum's toy you can see in this image. But then they added these puppy toys that were a lot like the toys I saw around places in the 90s growing up, where they go and then do a little flip. It was great. I never had one because they were kind of a waste of money apparently, and they broke. I think I had one thing from back then, which was like a frog that swam in the water, and it broke after like half an hour of having it, and I never got any of those like street toys ever again. But I fucking love this toy dog. This was like the best thing about Toy Day. I ended up getting, because again, my mother was playing at this point, so I was asking her to look out for the different colors for them. And I ended up getting, I think, all but two of the color variants, because I got two, my mother had a different color, and then the villagers gave both me and her certain other colors from presents. And I ended up getting them that way. So it was great. In fact, Fauna ended up giving me one of the puppy variants as well, which I was super happy with, so yeah. And finally, I collected all the bugs. Again, I have to take this because, of course, if you're wondering what's going on in the background, by the way, I ended up digging up a lot of the straight paths just to make enough room for snow, so I could make snowmen. Because my island is so developed at this point that there just isn't enough grass for these things to show up. So I ended up digging up my kind of like shopping area in order to spawn them. And I ended up really fucking hating these things. This was my first perfect snowman 2 days later after the event started. Dude, like, these are the least... These snowmen are... I prefer the way they did them in New Leaf, honestly. This is like the only thing about New Horizons that I ended up absolutely hating. They're the only thing in the entire game that is blatantly stressful. You have to do them perfect, like to the number. And I used the tile strategy where I put like 10 tiles down and then roll an entire giant ball over them. And even sometimes that didn't work. It was insane. I despise these things. At the point of recording this, I have like 3 more perfect ones to make to get the final Nook Miles bracket. And then I am never touching them again. I fucking hate them. From something I hate to something I love, me and Fauna ended up spending having a Toy Day dinner together. With the puppy she bought me in the background, as well as the one I bought myself, and you know, it worked out. They went really well together, just like we do. And then it was time to deliver presents. Because of course, like all the other holiday NPCs, they can't do their own fucking job, and I have to do their job. So yes, it was the time to deliver presents to all the villagers, and honestly, it was kind of fun. And I really wish we could have kept that sack because I love it. And this is me giving a present to Sky. I think she was at the eggnog a bit too much because she was just out of it. So I gave her present, told her to take care of herself, and then went on. But yeah, I know Jingle put you up to this, but I have to say the thought still counts. Yeah, she had one too many eggnogs that night. And then the next day I opened up my mail and I found out that a friend of mine, the one who gave me the hat from way back when, had actually sent me a shit ton of bells, and I was blown away by it, and I felt really guilty because I didn't actually send him anything because I wasn't actually quite sure he was playing it at the time. I'd never really seen him pop up. Maybe he was playing it at a different time than me, but yeah. So next year, this coming year, 2021 Christmas, if both of us are still playing it, I am putting some effort into it, and I am thinking of something good to send you, man. Thank you very much. I actually have not put this away. I currently have this in a room of my house on display, and it is staying that way. So thank you very much, and I hope you had a good Christmas. So then me and Fauna decided to spend the rest of the day together, and it was a really nice, chill and relaxing night. The the snow and the music, and honestly reminded me a lot of that one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that was just probably the single most romantic thing I've ever seen from television, and just appeals to the teenage girl in my heart. But neither of us are really big on public displays of affection, so after giving each other a little bit of a loving under the Christmas tree, where we were kind of we were a bit bashful for a little bit, and Sterling shouted over and made a fool of himself, and yeah, I don't really think we're gonna be doing that again anytime soon. But no, it wasn't bad. It was just it's us. I noticed Anka walking around in the Christmas present I gave her, and whew, I had no idea. I got the wrong size, but I got the wrong size, and me and the boys were not exactly ready to see what we saw that day. But yeah. A few days later, it was Bella's birthday. I ended up getting her a dot bud, and she put it in like the perfect place in her house. It almost looks like it was there by default. It was amazing. I think it perked out the perfect present, and obviously she seems super excited about it herself, so it worked out great. We're finally at the point where New Year's has arrived. This is me in the morning taking a shot with a glass, ready to celebrate the new year and just, say goodbye to 2020. I also love how you can see Bella in the corner there, just slightly photobombing and peeking out and looking right at the camera. This image, that just tickles me more than it really should. But yeah, I thought, what would be really cool? Getting the rest of the town together, to take a village together with each other and just remember the times we spent together. So we did. We got everyone together and we took a village photo, including pictures of Winnie, who are no longer with us, and Piper, who is no longer with us. Never did get the photographs of the other ones, so unfortunately they don't show up here. Where is Muffy, you may wonder? Well, Muffy was busy writing music for the new band she actually put together with some of the other villages called The Poe. They're actually pretty good. They're very, very like The Cure, but a little bit more heavy metal. It's like if they took The Cure and they added a dash of heavy metal. They're actually pretty good. I went to one of their concerts at one point. They need to iron things out a little bit, but they're doing great. As for Moss, we hadn't actually seen her for a few weeks, and it turned out that she had made an OnlyFans and hadn't really left her house for ages, so yeah. What? Her choice, whatever. But yeah, after that I decided to go back home with Fauna, and we hung out at her place for the rest of the day, just having a good time and reminiscing about the rest of the year whilst we waited for the countdown to start. Oh, there was this time, and there was this other one. Oh, so many fun memories. and I'm glad you were part of them. And then the countdown began, and the entire village gathered together to count down the end of the chaotic, awful year that was 2020. The fireworks set off, and I was at the head of the village with the other representatives, Tom Nook and Isabel, as we waved in the new year. And whilst it was pretty good on COVID Bay throughout 2020, the same could not have been said for the rest of the world. So let's hope that 2021 is a lot better. I'm so glad I could start off 2021 being with you, Muffin. Let's make a resolution to spend a lot of time together this year, okay? And there we have it. The entire collection of screenshots I took on my RP adventure through Animal Crossing this year. And there's more to come. We've got Festival coming up later on this month. And yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm really hoping they continue updating the game and we can eventually get Brewster and other features that are missing from the past games, and maybe upgrade the shop a bit more, get that old giraffe fashion designer character in, have Leaf and LaBelle move in completely, just upgrading the shops so we don't have to rely on these random characters to come in every now and again. That would be fantastic, but hopefully yeah, we'll see where the year takes us. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's been a long one, but I really enjoyed Animal Crossing. And I know the whole fauna thing could be a bit cringy, but I actually got the idea whilst watching a YouTuber. I'll link her channel down below. Her videos have been just full of drama and super fucking entertaining, and she just makes up this story as she plays the game naturally and goes on, and it's so entertaining to watch, and she's fantastic. But I've been recording for ages, and as you can tell, my voice is going. I think it's about time I stop and go to bed. So, I hope you have a good one. I hope you've enjoyed, and if you've watched this entire thing, thank you so much. I don't know why. I'm hoping I was entertaining. I'll see you some other time. Bye for now.